On location this week in Sharpsville, Indiana, this is the Jacob Pyle Show, starring Jacob Pyle, featuring Zach Brown, and tonight's guest from the Indiana Garage YouTube channel, Adam Hamby. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Pyle.
Thank you, Butch McCain. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've been walking these streets so long, singing the same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away like the snow and the rain. There's been a load of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in the star-spangled rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. Well, I really don't mind the rain, and a smile can hide all the pain. But you're down when you're riding the train that's taking the long way. And I dream of the things that I'll do, with a subway token and a dollar tucked inside my shoe. There'll be a load of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. Like a rhinestone cowboy, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo. Like a rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. Thank you. It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Try as I may, I could never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. say it best when you say nothing at all. All day long I can hear people talking out loud. But when you hold me near, you drown out the crowd. Old Mr. Webster could never define what's being said between your heart and mine. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. Yeah, you say it best when you say nothing at all. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. Yeah, you say it best when you say nothing at all. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jacob Pyle Show for this Saturday night, technically Sunday morning, January 18th, 2026. My name is Jacob Pyle, and I'm glad to have you with us. Hope you guys are staying warm today, wherever you are at. My guest for tonight is from the Indiana Garage YouTube channel, Adam Hamby, and he'll be joining us in a little bit. In the meantime, please welcome my co-host for this week from his home in Indianapolis, Indiana, Zach Brown.
Hey, Jacob. Glad to be your co-host for this week. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. How are you?
You know, it's going well. But before we continue, I just want to say one important thing. We are still here. The Jacob Pyle Show is still here. How long have you been doing podcasts, Jacob?
Yeah, it'll be 14 years this next month.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a long time. You know, I'm proud of you for not giving up on yourself, Jacob. You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. How was your holiday vacation?
Thanks for asking. So my vacation was amazing. You know, we had Christmas over at my parents' house, exchanged gifts with my family that came up from Evansville, Indiana, which is a little bit, you know, like southern Indiana. We also hosted my wife's Christmas over at our house. And oh my gosh, we made the most delicious banana pudding you've ever had in your life. I wish I could take credit for it. My wife made it. I maybe helped do a couple of things, but yeah, so good. But yeah, anyway, it was great. I hope yours was.
Did you stay up to watch the ball drop?
You know, we did. We did see the ball drop. I was able to stay awake. So we were over at some friends' house, and we played some games, had a couple of libations, but we were very responsible, and that's very important to be responsible. So, and here we are. 2026 is here.
Awesome. We have an amazing show in store for you. Zach, take it away.
We'll be back with Jacob's conversation with Adam Hamby in a moment. But before we go to break, here's this week's On This Date question. On this date, January 17th, 1995, a very young, soon-to-be president of the United States was sworn in as governor of Texas. Can you guess who this person is? I'll have the answer for you when the Jacob Pyle Show continues. Welcome back. So before we continue with this week's guest, let's go back to this week's On This Date trivia question. So, on this date, January 17th, 1995, a very young, soon-to-be president of the United States was sworn in as the governor of Texas. Can you guess who this person is? The answer is George W. Bush. Once again, here's Jacob Pyle.
Welcome back to our show. First off, before we introduce our guest, you'll kind of have to excuse my not-so-great speaking voice for today. I don't know what's going on. My voice is kind of acting funny today, but please just bear with me. My guest for tonight is a car restoration expert. He's been running his YouTube channel for about 9 years now. Please welcome my guest for tonight from his workshop in Palmyra, Indiana, Adam Hamby. Adam, welcome.
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for having me.
Tell us about yourself.
So my name is Adam Hamby. I live down here in southern Indiana, Palmyra, Indiana to be precise. I'm originally from Newcastle, Indiana, so I'm kind of a central Indiana person. A lot of my influences growing up were central Indiana. So I have this channel called the Indiana Garage. Now I had to change the name recently. It used to go by another name. I won't say it because I don't even know if I should, but found out somebody had it trademarked here recently. They have very little online presence, it seemed, so I was unaware of such a thing. But now I'm the Indiana Garage, and I've been restoring cars personally for 25 years or more, and I've been doing the video channel for about 5 years. So I mainly, I guess you could say, stick to Mopars, which is, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge trucks and vans and anything like that. A lot of the old classic era, so 60s and 70s primarily.
What got you interested in refurbishing old cars?
Well, what got me interested in doing up old cars, I don't know, just they kind of spoke to me. I liked the way they looked. I used to watch the Dukes of Hazzard on TNN back in the 90s, and I really liked that car. And I wasn't so much about having that particular one, but as I saw the family of other cars under the manufacturer, I was like, wow, they just liked them. I liked them better than a Ford. I liked them better than a Chevrolet. I just liked their styling. They just spoke to me. And of course, you had to have your own version. And my first car was a '74 Duster, which is very, very similar to this. It almost looks exactly from at least the angle you're looking at. It's the same car, just the front and back end is a little differently. And I learned a lot on that car. I never actually drove it. We pulled it out of a junkyard. It was kind of an odd story for most people, but I ended up learning a lot on it, taking things apart, putting it back together. End up selling all the parts off of it, sold the car itself to somebody who was making a dirt track race car out of it. And I just kept proceeding up to the next car, and I found another one, then I found, a different style car, and it kind of took off from there. I had the fever from early on.
Tell us what gave you the idea to start the Indiana Garage YouTube channel.
Oh, so the idea for the channel, well, I realized there was a lot of tips and tricks. Well, maybe not a lot, but there was enough for me to want to share with everybody. And even as a kid, I always enjoyed recording. I'd have certain friends where we would record on a tape and do voices and act like it was playing a radio station. So really, to me, it was like a grown-up version of that. And I have this interest now, so they kind of combine both of those, and we have what we have now. And it really has seemed to help a lot of people. A lot of folks tell me all the time, hey, you helped me install this panel on my car that otherwise I didn't know where to start, or I couldn't find the magazine article, or the manufacturer didn't have an article or a how-to, and your video was very concise and precise, and I really appreciate that. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at. Plus you can make a few dollars on the side if you do good enough at it, and we do make a few dollars about every couple of months. We get a check for that, so that's really enjoyable.
Now, you've refurbished a lot of old and used cars over the years. Was there a favorite car you like refurbishing?
Yeah, I've refurbished a lot over the years. I do have a favorite. There was one, and it's maybe based a little bit on the scarcity of it. I mean, I'll get it to it. It's a 1974 Dodge Challenger. You see the new Challengers on the street now. Well, there was an old version. And it was a 74. It was the last year they made the Challengers originally of the classic body style, and it that 70 through 74 style. Very very iconic look. And in the past 30 years, they've always been a little harder to get a hold of for a good price. And I had a great price. I actually bought it up near Cleveland, Ohio, and drove it all the way home. And to find one that was driving for the price that I found it at, I mean, that was 22 years ago now. But I spent about a year and a half restoring it, doing a couple modifications to it. Really enjoyed that car. I have a lot of great memories. People still ask me if I regret selling that car. I kind of do, but I always got a new project. I always have something to look forward to, and I have this one and the other one and some other stuff that's always going on, so I'm pretty happy about it.
What's your advice to anyone who wants to refurbish old cars, whether as a career or as an interest?
So you wonder about people that might want to restore cars. I say, first, make sure you're interested in it. Your group of friends or people that you're around that are maybe doing an old car like this, that are actively doing restoration work, not just sending it out and having a body shop or a restoration business do it. See how they do it, or check out YouTube. You can check out our channel. And I kind of like to get into the nuts and bolts of things, of how adversity might strike. Sometimes we talk about the money issues. If you're just a regular guy, sometimes things are getting higher and higher all the time. Some just stay the same, and what you can do, and things like that. Now, if you want to do it for a career, that could be quite different too. I could probably do it as a career. The thing is, being here in the Midwest, cars are really hot in the Midwest, but it's not like they'd be in, let's say, Southern California, where there's a lot of businesses that are restoring vehicles, because it's like a year-round thing there. They have the weather for it. They have the capacity of, they have or population to support it. So it's just one of those things where it might not be really fruitful here, or likely that you can find something. Now, there are shops. There's shops all over the place. But in a concentrated area, it might be a little tough. So you either might have to start your own business, but I would say if you're going to do that, you better learn it really good, get to a level to where you're unique, and then you can step out. And if you've got good business sense, then you can absolutely do it, or do a YouTube channel like I do.
Now we're going to get into the general nuts and bolts of refurbishing an old car. We're not going to get into any length of detail on it, because you show us how to do most of these restoration stuff on your YouTube channel. But what are the most important tips that you can give us when we decide it's time to refurbish an old car?
Well, if you're looking for something on an old car, like where do I start? What do I need to do? This is a pretty loaded question, and it's a good question, but it can be a little general, because it depends on where you're at. Now, if a lot of your viewers are from Indiana or in the Midwest, then you're going to have to look for Midwestern traits on a car that would need restored. And to be honest with you, with cars from the 60s and 70s, they're pushing 60 years old. A lot of them have been out. They were obviously just used as regular cars when they were new. So they was driven through the salt, they was driven through the rain and the snow and all this stuff a lot of times. So a lot of that salt accumulated into the little pockets and seams underneath the car and up in all the joints and all that stuff. And this car was a really good example of just a regular car that was used. And it was actually a car that if I had ran onto this 10, 20, 30 years ago, it would have went to the crusher. It would not have been worth it at that time, and it's barely worth it now. But I do have a YouTube channel, so I figured let's make an example out of it. So nearly every panel in this car needed to be replaced, from the side quarter panels and the floors, all the way from about where I'm standing all the way back. The floor system needed to be done, the frame. So you have to look really, if I was to give you a general answer on that, the underneath of the car. Understand the underneath of the car, how it's constructed, where the frame system is. Now, this is not a frame off car. You can't remove the frame. It's welded together. It's a unitized construction, like most new cars are. So that can make it a little tougher for some people. And this car had some frame rot in those areas there and a couple areas up front. So you want to find a car that has If it's your first time, let's put it that way. If your first time, find a car that has the minimal amount of rust, okay? And if you could deal with engines and all that, because that's a whole nother thing. You got the mechanical side, all the steering components, the interior. It's a very heavy hobby, I'll say that. So if you're gonna get into it, make sure you know what you're looking at. Study the type of car that you find a particular car that you like. Study all about that model and its close brothers and sisters within the company that it came from, and you'll be able to go pretty far. And still, some things will slip past you. There's always more rust than you see. So that's my best tip for that.
All right, we have to pause for this break. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Adam Hamby. Stay with us.
If you'd like to be a guest on the Jacob Pyle Show, send Jacob an email. His email address is jtpyle1@aol.com. That's also where to send an email if you would like a DVD copy of the show. Please mention the air date seen on the screen when ordering. The DVD is just $10. Residents outside of Indiana will pay an additional $5 for shipping and handling. Once again, here's Jacob.
Welcome back again. My apologies for those out there watching. You'll have to kind of excuse my not so great speaking voice for today. My voice is not the greatest today. I don't know what's going on. My guest for tonight, if you're just now joining us, is from the Indiana Garage YouTube channel, Adam Hamby. Now, the next few questions I'm going to ask are commonly asked questions about restoring cars. What are common issues with old cars?
Well, like I said, you got the rust issue. It depends. It's always subjective, because if you have a car that's still running, then you're worrying about just the basics of an old car running. You got carburetor, you got timing issues, electronics. So you don't really have all that electronics per se. You have electrical wiring, basic, just basic voltage type stuff. So you'll worry about that if you're just having a car that's on the road already or just needs a little bit to get on the road. And then, like I said, cars like this, where I've never driven this car. I've had it for 5 years now, and it had all the rust issues. And you get a hold of cars, you see what people have done over the years, either as a quick fix or as a bad repair, things like that. It just really depends. I mean, you can have anything go wrong. Anything. Just point at a section of one of these cars, and something has probably been wrong with one model or something close to it any time. I mean, it's all over the board. You kind of have to. It's a little bit of a lifestyle. You got to be kind of involved in it, and then you understand. Well, it's probably this problem or that problem. Anything from steering to driveline to your doors not closing or shutting right because the hinges are worn on them. It's just all kinds of directions you can go with that. So just check out anything on YouTube, anybody repairing a car, and you'll get a good idea of all the different angles you can go with what's wrong with a car.
Can you tell what condition my vehicle is in just by looking at it?
No, that's one of the biggest deceivers. Actually, when I looked at this car, when it was new, it was sitting in the guy's yard, but it was intact. It had all the glass in it, had all the trim on it. It just looked like an old car. And at first glance, you see it, there's a little bit of rust right there, and a little bit of rust here, and there's a little dent here and there. But I would have said it was maybe cut a few panels out, replace the interior, do some body work on it, do some filler work, maybe a little bit of metal work, prime it, paint it, do some other stuff on the driveline, and we'll be good. Well, here we are 5 years later, and I've completely put entire new panels, giant panels on this car. I mean, it was an unrecognizable hull for a little while I was basically stripping it of any paint and rust, and you have to deal with all that before you put it all back on new. So no, I can't really tell you. Even some really nice cars out there are just what we call Bondo buckets. They're full of filler, and then they've been painted over beautifully, but they were not repaired correctly as far as appearance. And then sometimes you'll have mechanical issues like that too. So no, they really need to be gone through. They need to be gotten to know and looked at very well and experienced, really, before you know how truly good it is. And if you have documentation, which in my case on this particular car, you have several years worth of video that is available, and it's always good to take pictures if you're restoring a car, because somebody comes around and look at it and they're on the line, well, this is a good price, if it's what it is, and then you can show them the pictures of that exact car, and they're like, yeah, you did that work right. So sometimes it can make the deal for you.
How long do these restoration processes usually take?
Again, it's subjective. This car has taken 5 years, but it depends on what kind of time you have. If it's a hobby, then yeah, it could take a few years, more years. Typically, I've always taken about 2.5. It could take me 2.5 years. Now, this car, like I said, it was so extensive, it's been twice that, but we're kind of to the point where it's on the downhill. But for me, if I was to give you an average, about 2.5 years.
How can people get a hold of you?
Well, you can either just contact me on my Indiana Garage channel, just any of the videos that you're watching. You can post a comment, and you can email me, although my email kind of reflects my old channel name that I can't use anymore. So just contact me on the Indiana Garage channel, any of the videos. You can just go into the comments and comment me, and if you want, you can I can give you my email address there, or you can give me yours. And if you need to contact me about anything, any questions, like I said, either on there or shoot me an email that way. So we'll work it out.
All right, Adam, we got to go. We are out of time. If you want to watch some of Adam's amazing car restorations, it's under the Indiana Garage YouTube channel. It's also available on both Facebook and Instagram as well. Adam Hamby, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jacob.
Zach.
Well, Jacob, it's time to call it a night.
Yes, it is. But before I sing my closing song, my thanks to Adam Hamby of Indiana Garage for stopping by.
Join us again next week, same bat time, same bat channel, when Jacob's co-host will be Taryn Ray Smith, and Jacob and Taryn Ray's guest will be Rick Chandler. And I'm Zach Brown. For Adam Hamby and all of us at the Jacob Pyle Show, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, and good night, everybody.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I've got a name, I've got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name, I've got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did, and I'm living the dream that he kept hid. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Good night, everybody.
I'm Butch McCain. The opinions expressed on this pre-recorded program are solely those of the participants and does not necessarily reflect the views of this program or Pyle Media Ventures, Inc. Pyle Media Ventures, Inc. produces this program and is solely responsible for its content.